Welcome to Black Angus Reviews. Today I'm going to be covering the news that apparently Ahsoka Tano may in fact be in the Rise of Skywalker. So if you don't know, Ahsoka Tano is a character from the Clone Wars film, Clone Wars TV show from Cartoon Network, as well as the Disney Star Wars Rebels show. And they actually introduced this really crazy concept that never felt completely, expanded upon. At the end of Rebels, go check that out. There has been rumor of time travel of some sort in Star Wars. Aside from that, built off of what we've seen in that last episode. So go look into that. It's really cool. It's a world in between worlds. All right, but she is one of the top characters from Clone Wars. I personally think she's okay. I like her end arc in season 5, but she felt kind of forced through just, I don't know, cool tie-in, but not that cool in Rebels. And you may like this. She has hints of Padme and Leia, in my opinion. I see the good for goodness sake kind of resolve that annoys me with Leia type quality in Ahsoka, but I also see an interesting thing from Padme, this kind of willingness to leave a faction if it corrupts from her intended goals. At the end of season 5, spoiler, she leaves the Jedi Order because she sees it being corrupted. She sees something amiss, but she wants to stay devoted to the light. So I see kind of both qualities of those two iconic females from Star Wars. But a lot of people are angry at this idea that Ahsoka will be in Episode 9 in some capacity. And I just want to clear it up. We got this covered. They mentioned that, spoiler, potentially, at the end of Episode 9, Rey is fighting Palpatine. He's overpowering her, much like Luke in Episode 6, with his lightning. And the Jedi of old, all the Jedi spiritually, kind of come to her aid to reverse Palpatine, to blast him back with his lightning and send him to hell or what have you, ending his reign, I guess, permanently. I don't know how you put an end to a guy that can transfer his essence or preserve it or whatever. I guess this will be balanced, even though all the good guys' spirits will be coming to defeat the ultimate bad guys. I don't know. I don't get this. What this is supposed to bring a final balance, if that's the case. If good and evil are not meant to win, whatever. Outside of that. And people are mad about this. It doesn't make sense to me, because I thought our problems with Rey were she has no obstacles, that she has no challenge, she just does everything on her own, and it may be a little too late for some, but it seems they're finally, at least JJ is aware of some of the complaints and is trying to do something to keep her in line with the character that fans of her like, but give her a challenge that maybe is a sign of good faith, subtly, to bring the old fans, the original saga fans, back. And I'm all for that, Clearly there's a kind of agenda, like we talk about all the time with Lucasfilm and Hollywood. I don't see that changing. I don't think Kevin Feige will fix it. He's part of the problem over at Marvel with Phase 4. That's his baby. So I don't think he's a savior of Star Wars. He might change the delivery, perhaps, and make it palatable. But again, he made Captain Marvel as a producer, so we'll see. But yeah, it seems there's some push, some sign of good faith. You've had the EU be disenfranchised at fandom in Star Wars. You've also had, my opinion, being a prequel kid, my fandom just totally ignored and shoved aside. Saying we don't matter, but now they see we are old enough to contribute to the toy sales, to the merchandise sales and whatnot. And so they're trying to pander to people, even if it's disingenuous. It seems there's attempts to acknowledge various pieces of fragments or factions of fandom in Star Wars within it. So I think we should acknowledge that, Maybe it won't be delivered well. Yeah, I don't know. I saw the EVS video of spoiler coverage from Endgame, and I was not impressed. I was like, oh god, they're going to ruin the saga. And then I saw Endgame, and I loved it. So you should wait and see, And if you don't know, this idea isn't new. It's not something plucked out of thin air. From what I understand, Lucas had this idea with Obi-Wan helping Luke spiritually to defeat the Emperor. And of course, we got the Vader ending, him throwing him down the shaft, the chute, whatever you call it. And that was that. but it's an old idea from Lucas and his creative team. So it's kind of cool. It's another nod to the old. I have my ideas about Lucas and Iger, that sort of acknowledgement of things not going the way Lucas would want in Iger's autobiography. But this does seem like a kind of admission of guilt, or let's come to terms, let's make it better. So I want to give Lucasfilm that chance of like, hey, still got a lot to fix, but I see this. It's okay in my book. And yeah, it's just, I feel this kind of becoming a problem, or has been a problem with Fandom Menace, is just jumping on everything as negative with Lucasfilm, whether it's really even a big deal or not, There's been this recent funny debate of candy corn in the Fandom Menace. I could imagine JJ likes candy corn, and there'd be this huge fit just because you gotta hate everything Lucasfilm, and it's getting ridiculous. So I want to be a voice of reason, and I feel we gotta pick our battles because the media is not on our side. That's what you gotta realize. We used to reference articles because we needed to legitimize, like, look, even the media is pointing this out. We're not crazy. Now it's pretty clear there's a divide. You're either Last Jedi, Lucasfilm fanboy, or you're aware of the problem, even if you kind of like that movie. It's a clear dividing line. Excuse me. And, we covered the Tim Rose thing, and it didn't really bother me. It wasn't really for or against what happened with Rian Johnson. I think it was just miscommunication and understanding of how to send someone off. Because I saw the clip and it seemed like they thought everything was fine, and he went along with it, he laughed and stuff, and then apparently cried in his suit. If you actually do your research and watch the whole clip from YouTube channel that offered this, Tim Rose was actually quite embittered by Lucas cutting his performance from episode 6 with the Cantina alien and other stuff in the special editions, with this classic, now known CGI scene from the Cantina, or the palace, sorry. And also Harrison Ford, tried to get him fired on set, and so they had to, tell Tim to lie about his name, say he's someone else, so Harrison might think he's actually fired, if he even remembered. It's the heat of the moment. But no one talked about Lucas when this discussion came out. No one talked about Harrison Ford. And I just think, we need to be reasonable. And, otherwise we look like we're crying about every little thing just to bitch about something. And that's kind of where I'm at, where it's, are we, as a movement, as a group, are kind of becoming SJWs, where everything that comes up in entertainment, we're bitching about, generally speaking. We're bitching about it. Do we want to be like SJWs? Because they bitch about stuff they don't support. Even the stuff they like, they don't support because they don't have money. And it's a thing we talk about all the time. And that's why I like Comicsgate. And I think Fandom Menace needs something like that. We need an alternative. I don't see people pushing alternatives. Everyone joins in the hate of Lucasfilm or this movie coming up. And that can be fun, but it gets tiring. And it's like, well, what do I like? What am I replacing, A lot of people might see Jumanji, or ironically go see Cats just to shit on Lucasfilm, maybe try to boost it. You might actually push that, or look into classic Cats performance and stuff. Or, there's comics, like I'm talking about Comicsgate. I just think we're kind of losing our way, and so I just want to be that voice of reason. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm crazy, but let's discuss. I believe in the Fandom Menace. I wouldn't keep touting the name if I didn't, but I think we've lost what united us. It was rooting for Star Wars. It was like this film, what it is to lore, and the culture behind it. We want it to change for the better. And we're real excited, looking forward to Kathleen getting fired back then a couple years ago, and she got re-upped. And so it's like we kind of lost weight, and we're just hitting at everything and not acknowledging something that is sensible within the lore or within the history of Lucas, or giving anything a chance. Episode 7 was too much the same. Episode 8 was a clear running full bore away from the tropes. I think we need to be somewhere in the middle. It seems JJ's trying. It may not work out. There may be agenda and whatnot behind it. And I'll totally acknowledge that. But if Star Wars really just stays this course, which I think it kind of is, I think you just kind of got to accept at this point. I'm just going to start looking elsewhere for entertainment. Same thing with Marvel. Now we got the Joker maybe keying something off. The DCU may get rebooted or set straight with Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman, and of course Aquaman. So yeah, I don't know. We should be looking for things to enjoy, not it just gets tiring. Yeah, let's discuss in the comments, and look forward to a video really soon tonight. I'm excited to start doing this new series, getting into some comics stuff, because I was really keyed in with this one piece of art. And I'm really excited to bring this to your attention. Maybe you can read along with me. We can have a chat. Maybe you can find some new media to get into. It's old, technically, but it'll be new to you. So, see you around.